Hey there, Happy New Year! I have a sack of avocados for you. You know what they say, if you start your year with a sack of avocados... Anyways, with that out of the way, it's been a minute since we had some videos, so I thought, let's start the year not just with a video, but how about a New Year's resolution? Or, and listen to me here, how about we don't? And by that I mean, let's keep it calm. Let's just not make those giant, big promises to ourselves that we like to do. Let's start out easy. Let's start out with something that you can do, or you take that big promise and you break it down into its smaller components. I think that's a better. At least that works better for me. I noticed throughout the years I make these big promises to myself. Of course, work, life, everything happens, and I won't be able to do it. So instead, let's do something small. Let's break that big promise down to something smaller that we can do. And let's start with like basic building blocks. Let's start with fundamentals. I will start with the cube in this place. And what am I doing, you're asking? I have no idea. I'm trying to draw something cool. So I guess it's going to be some sort of spaceship. But I want to keep it easy. I want to keep it not too stressful for myself. So I could have brought this a little bit lower, I see there, but it's not a problem. Then we can make a smaller ellipse there and just do the roundings here. And this would be some sort of a front of our engine. So going back to what I was talking about, right? These big promises. We just overwhelm and block ourselves, and I don't think that's a good idea. It's always nicer to see. It's good to have that big promise, and then to break it down to the easiest doable parts of it, and just do it one by one. Also, what I usually never do is really these New Year's things, just because I feel like if you remember it somewhere during the year, just get started. Don't wait. If you remember it. I don't know, December 12th, that, hey, it would be cool if I would do this. Don't say, I'll do it as a New Year's thing. No, just get started. Just get started with the smallest thing that you can get started with, and then just keep on building on it. In the meantime, I'm doing ellipses here, like half ellipses. So if we have some sort of surface like that, and we know that I want an ellipse here, you can do the ellipse there, like that, right? And then you would have your ellipse, or what I do, I just do this, the cheatery version. I would recommend doing the actual, especially in the beginning, but later on, you can cheat a little bit and have some fun with it. But yeah, the whole point of this video, for me as well, because I still have the spaceship video that I want to do part 2, so that hopefully this time really that is going to be the next video, next Monday. But I thought in the meantime, let me just do something fun, something that I want to communicate, something that I think there is some value in it, and I just getting back into the whole feeling and the whole drawing spaceships and just drawing in front of a video in general, or video camera, because I haven't done that in a long time. So I'm gonna take this and I want to translate it over there, and by translate I mean project, would be somewhere there. So this distance is going to be obviously quite a bit shorter from here, so I'm gonna do it, let's see, try it until there. Let's see how that feels. A lot of these things, I know because I have a couple of fundamentals on my video. A lot of things you guys would expect that, there's like exact rules how to do this. And probably there is, but a lot of it happens by feeling, because in school they teach you how to do like the fundamentals and how to build everything. And then later on, you don't always have the time to follow everything. So the knowledge of these fundamentals are going to help you in doing shortcuts, in making everything a little bit faster. I just want some extra element here in the back before I add the 2 ellipses, which will be my exhaust ports. And actually I can open them up a little bit more. They become more like that. And yeah, so I thought just talking a little bit about these things that are in my head as well would be maybe helpful for you folks as well. Because it's so often that we forget to start with the smaller things and then slowly concentrate on the bigger ones and slowly build up towards something bigger. And as you can see, this is sort of almost like a live stream situation, because talking and drawing at the same time is somewhat difficult, and you will hear me struggle a little bit here and there. But as I said, let's forgive ourselves, because it is the beginning of the year. We are slowly getting back into the flow of things, so it's all good. Okay, I think this is good. Let's switch to fine liners. Home cooked food time. All right, after that little lunch break, let's get back to the video. Let's just continue having fun here and talk about New Year's resolutions, if you want to call it a New Year's resolution. Just in general, resolutions. I think they are good. They are good, but we do tend to over-promise on, well, not promise, but we bite off a little bit too much, and it could go a little bit easier. But of course, not everybody does this. So if you don't do this, congratulations, you're doing it right. What can I say? But there are a lot of us who do it like that. So it is good to have the big picture ahead of you, and then look at the small bite-size parts of that picture and see what you can do with those. For me, for example, the last couple of months were a little bit more difficult. I couldn't get videos out. I had to travel home, had to take care of my dad. So a lot of things came up, and it is going to take me a while to get back into the proper rhythm. Okay, let me speed this up a little bit. And then as soon as I feel like I have something to say or something regarding this drawing that might be interesting for you guys, we will jump back into it. Okay, so coming back a little bit to the building blocks, I did notice that it was a little bit too blocky. So I decided to try and break up my surfaces here a little bit with some extra elements that hopefully will take away from this blockiness. In general, I like these sort of contrast of this blocky area with the rest of the shape. So that is not the biggest problem, but like you have to balance it out. Returning once more to the topic of New Year's resolutions, I still think whenever something comes to your mind, just jump on it. Do small increments. No reason at all to wait and set up an arbitrary time that, okay, this is when I'm going to start. No, just like, I understand that today you want to chill. Let's say today I'm gaming so good, I'm still in the vacation mood, but tomorrow I want to start with the videos. And even if I wouldn't start completely, I would say, let me just sit down for 5 minutes and just write down 2 lines of ideas that I want to do. It doesn't need to be a script for me. It's just like, okay, this is sort of the idea that I want to do tomorrow. And that's already, at least it's going to be that less to do next day. And of course, the more you get done, the better. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do now is I am going to take not fine liner, like the opposite of the fine liner, and just make some of the lines a little bit stronger, which again will bring in that cartooniness, which I don't always enjoy, but I think now it's really a little bit needed, because my lines seem to be disappearing a little bit, and it doesn't really show what is overlaid on top of what. So I want to make sure that that's understood here. Another short break. Let's refill my brush here, or brush marker. This is, everybody does different, but people like to ask how you do it. So I like to take off the ends on both sides, here and here, because then I feel that the air flows through and it will suck up the ink a little bit more. I know some people who actually take out this nib. I don't think it's necessary. I think it sucks it off up perfectly well. And once we're done with it, like I can see that it's already saturating pretty well. And I can stop here. One thing you do not want to do is overfill it, because then everything is just gonna flow out of it and it's not necessary. All right, with that we are back to using our markers. And I'm going to switch to the other markers as well. I am going to need a couple of darker markers, especially here in the back. I feel like I might even come back with a fine liner or my black marker just to bring some more details into this place. When I marker like this, I also marker so I leave marks with a marker. So I'm not trying to be regular. Usually when you're using it to fill a whole area, you're trying to keep the whole area a little bit wet, but I am not particularly going for that now. Okay, I like jumping back and forth. Sometimes I don't see where I need a little bit more detail. In this case, I can see that here, obviously, I have nothing. So it would be nice to have just a couple greeblies, a bit more cutting lines, something that speaks a little bit of detail there. This area has very little to no detail, so I might as well work here a little bit. There could be something around the canopy here. Take my C3. This is a little bit of play and imagination on your part, like what would be in here. There's probably a person there with seating and some extra doohickeys. That's always nice to imagine what's going on in there. And then we come with the white back here and then fix those areas a bit. Now this is the interesting part. You don't want it to be too dark. Let's see. This might ruin the whole drawing, so if you will not see this in the final visual, it means that digitally I have removed it. I'm always a little bit concerned when I'm adding the shadow, because it can be a very... No, actually I like it. Funny thing is, I have to look up at the screen to see how it looks on camera, because I can judge it easier that way, if I'm liking it or not. There we go. Now the rest is all detailing. All right, there we go. There's our spaceship that's built out of small pieces and slowly adding to it and adding to it. And yeah, this is what you have to, well, you don't have to do it. This is what I do with big New Year's resolutions, but just in general, if I know I want to do something, break it down to smaller pieces, and bit by bit. You don't have to do everything at once. You don't have to overwhelm yourself. And with that, we have come to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can hit that like button or subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. But more importantly, do you have New Year's resolution? It doesn't have to be drawing related. It's do you have like a big goal that you want to achieve this year? And do you already have something in mind how to break it down into achievable goals? I would love to hear it. So I would love to read it in the comment section below. So if you have something like that, leave it there. But as always, the most important thing is that you folks have a great time, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.